Welcome to A Recipe Reborn, featuring your favorite foods from Final Fantasy XIV. Hello, my name is Lemon Drop, and I develop recipes by combining real-life culinary inspiration with the in-game recipe, description, thumbnail, geography, and lore. If you're into 14 and food, please subscribe and click the bell for a new episode every week. Today I am making chocolate fondue, inspired by the Valention's chocolate fountain. Unfortunately, I don't have a fountain, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy dipping fruit, nuts, and marshmallows into melted chocolate. This recipe is so easy you could go to the grocery store now and still make it in time for tomorrow. I had a much more elaborate recipe planned for this week, but it didn't turn out the way I was hoping, and then Kupo was sick for a day, so I decided to bail myself out with a simpler recipe. Except chocolate fondue is only 2 ingredients, so while I was looking closely at the in-game item, I noticed what I think are marshmallows, but I'll get to that later. Speaking of the in-game item, since it is a quest reward, there's no in-game recipe, so I've mocked up what I think it might look like. Valention's Day is an Eorzean holiday, so I attempted to draw ingredients from each city-state but failed to find a good one from Thanalan. Perhaps the kiwis on this platter are secretly from Thanalan, considering there's no in-game item matching its resemblance, as far as I know. So earlier when I said marshmallows, I decided to make them from scratch. It's a rare opportunity that I had to seize. It's really not necessary for the purpose of a simple romantic dessert, but I want to at least show you how easy it is, as long as you have a handheld mixer or stand mixer and a thermometer. The first step is to prepare the pan because marshmallows are sticky AF. I'm greasing and coating mine with powdered sugar and cornstarch and then playing the old danger bongos to knock out the excess. Now that the pan is ready, I can get started with the marshmallow ingredients. The first step is to bloom some gelatin in a bit of water and then set it aside to soak while I prepare the sugar mixture. The basic idea is to suspend millions of tiny air bubbles in a sweet jelly. One of the best parts of making your own marshmallows is flavoring them however you like. I chose to sneak in a little bit of maple syrup because, well, you know me by now. Plus, I feel that maple is a very common flavor in Final Fantasy XIV desserts, especially in the A Realm Reborn era. Everything is mixed together in a pot, and then I'm heating it until it reaches 240 Fahrenheit or 115 Celsius. You will need a thermometer for this part. If the mixture gets too hot, it will solidify, and if it's too cold, it won't set. Here's where the mixer comes in. I tested both the stand mixer and the handheld mixer and got the same results, so either will work fine. Now is the time for flavoring. I'm using vanilla since I think it goes well with maple, and it's an ingredient representing the Kurthus Western Highlands. This needs a total of 5 minutes of mixing on high until it reaches this slow motion consistency. This goes into my prepared pan to set uncovered overnight, and I'm smoothing the surface with wet hands. It does have a tendency to collect dust, so I like to either put it in the oven or tent it very loosely with foil. The next day it's time to cut, so I'm dusting it with my sugar and starch mixture. Once set, the marshmallow is pretty firm and stretchy, so I don't need to worry about pulling on it a little bit to remove it from the pan. I oiled and dusted my knife before cutting, and then I'm tossing them in the remaining sugar-starch mixture to make sure they don't stick to each other. They are so fluffy and puffy, this feels so good. So finally it's time for the chocolate, and honestly this will take you less than 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes total if we include cutting the fruit. I'm heating the cream on low until it just starts bubbling around the edges, it takes maybe 5 minutes. Then I turn off the heat, add the chocolate, and let it melt for 3 minutes. That's it! If you want, you can add some fruit or coffee flavored liqueur. I chose to go plain since I bought really nice HQ dark chocolate for this. I'm serving with strawberries, cherries, kiwis, oranges, chestnuts, and of course my homemade marshmallows. If you don't have a fondue pot, you can serve the chocolate in a metal bowl set over a pot of hot water. Chocolate fondue is not something I think to make as a dessert, but it's so quick and easy, which is great for guests and dinner parties since it takes very little time and turns dessert into an activity. Plus, if you have a big selection of food to dip, there's bound to be something to suit everyone. So if you're looking for a last-minute Valentine's idea, head over to the store, buy some chocolate, cream, and fruit, and hopefully you will find love at the bottom of the fondue pot. For the full recipe and instructions, please check out the link to my website in the description below or in the card at the top of the screen. I wish you all a happy Valention's Day, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week for another recipe and another episode. Until then, please enjoy this video of Kupo and her true love, the largest stick in the park.